Shedeur Sanders finally made his NFL debut, and it happened in the most unpredictable way possible. Thrown into the fire against the Baltimore Ravens, this wasn't a carefully scripted rollout or a polished primetime announcement. No, Sanders was thrust into the game because Dillon Gabriel went down with a concussion, and in a blink, all eyes were on number 12. For those of us who've been begging to see what he can do, this wasn't the way we imagined it, but it happened. And Browns fans, we've got a lot to talk about. So click the like button and tell me, what did you think of this matchup? I want to know your opinion. Let's be real, the final stat line wasn't pretty. For completions on 16 attempts, 1 interception, and a low quarterback rating. But if you just look at the box score, you're missing the story. Sanders wasn't just playing his first NFL snaps. He was doing it with an offensive line that's been nothing short of disastrous. We've seen this unit collapse for Flacco. We've seen it expose Gabriel. And now it's clear that even a mobile quarterback like Shedeur isn't safe behind this group. On one play, 3 Ravens were in his face immediately, even as Cleveland committed a holding penalty trying to slow the rush. That's how little time he had. And yet, despite all that, there were flashes, moments that reminded us why Sanders has had so much hype. There was the end zone shot to Gage Larvin that was perfectly placed, only to be broken up by a strong defensive play from Ozier. There was the mobility, the way Shedeur used his legs to extend plays and pick up critical first downs. That alone is an upgrade over what we've seen from Gabriel. And while the completion percentage is tough to defend, the truth is the Browns' offensive structure and lack of reps for Sanders tell the real story. Kevin Stefanski confirmed it after the game. Shedeur Sanders had not taken any first-team reps since being drafted. This was his first time with the starters. Think about that. No prep, no rhythm with the receivers, no chemistry with the line, and he's expected to go out and lead a comeback against the top AFC defense? It's a setup for failure. And yet he still had us on the edge of our seats late in the game, driving the team past the 40-yard line on a critical 4th and 5. The shot to Fannin was there for a game-tying touchdown. It didn't land, but the moment was real. The question now is obvious. What happens next? Stefanski already confirmed that if Dillon Gabriel doesn't clear concussion protocol, Shedeur will start against the Raiders. That's not speculation, it's been stated. So now is the time. If this coaching staff is serious about evaluating their quarterbacks, they need to give Sanders a real shot. That means a full week of reps with the starters. That means game planning with him in mind, not plugging him in mid-game like a backup plan. Cleveland's front office needs to face a hard truth. This offensive line has been an Achilles heel all season. And it's not just about protecting the quarterback, it's about giving the offense a chance to function. With more protection, the potential of this offense is obvious. You've got guys like Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Bond, Fannin, and David Njoku. Combine that with Judkins and Sanders' mobility and arm talent, and you've got the makings of something dangerous if the quarterback isn't running for his life every play. Let's also talk about the other side of the ball, because as much as this game was about Shedeur's debut, it was equally about a historic performance from Myles Garrett. 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 5 quarterback hits, against Lamar Jackson, one of the most elusive quarterbacks in the game. Garrett was a monster, a complete game wrecker. It's not just hyperbole, he's playing like the defensive player of the year. And when you add in the potential of the Browns also having the defensive rookie of the year, it's hard to understand how this team is sitting at 2-8. Lamar Jackson threw 2 interceptions and didn't crack 200 yards. That should have been a game Cleveland won. But it comes down to offensive structure, coaching, and talent execution. Harbaugh and his staff simply outcoached us. Their blitz packages created havoc all day. Their receivers made timely plays. Even with Lamar turning the ball over, they stayed composed. That's the kind of discipline Cleveland is still chasing. The fan in me wanted this win badly. Not for the draft position, not for a moral victory. Just to beat Baltimore. Just to take it to the division rivals that have been the thorn in our side for years. And for a moment, in the fourth quarter, it looked like it could happen. That's what makes this loss sting. But there's a silver lining in seeing Shedeur out there, making plays, showing flashes, giving us something to hope for. So now it's your turn, Browns fans. You saw the game. You saw Shedeur. Should Dillon Gabriel still be the starter once he's healthy, or has number 12 earned his shot? Let me know what you think. Because if we're being honest, we've seen what Dillon Gabriel brings to the table, and it hasn't moved the needle. 5 games in, and it's been more of the same, missed throws, stalled drives, and an offense that can't seem to string together momentum until it's too late. You can point to a slightly improved completion percentage in this last outing, but at the end of the day, it's still an offense stuck in neutral. Gabriel plays it safe, but too often that safety turns into predictability. That's not going to win games in this league, not with the way the AFC North plays football. And then there's Shedeur. Raw? Absolutely. Inexperienced? Of course. But there's something there. Something you can't teach. The arm strength, the mobility, the poise under pressure despite being put in an impossible situation. Those are traits that don't show up in a box score. Those are traits that, if developed properly, can change the course of a franchise. But he won't get there by sitting on the bench or being tossed into games cold with no practice time with the starters. If Stefanski and this coaching staff want to make the most of the rest of this season, it's time to commit to an evaluation phase. Put Shedeur in, give him first-team reps, design a game plan that fits his skill set, and let the chips fall where they may. You're 2-8. You're not chasing a playoff berth anymore. What you need now is clarity. Clarity on whether Shedeur Sanders can be your guy moving forward. Clarity on whether this offensive line needs a complete overhaul. Clarity on how to build this team around the young talent you already have. And speaking of the offensive line, how did this group not get addressed in the last NFL draft? It's baffling. Every week it's the same story. Pressure, pressure, and more pressure. You can't evaluate a quarterback behind this line. It's not just about sacks, it's about rhythm. It's about giving the quarterback time to go through progressions, to find the open man, to step into throws. You don't get that when you're being chased every other snap. That has to be priority number one this offseason. Load up in the trenches. Protect your future. Because let's not pretend the receiver room is overflowing with elite weapons. Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Bond, Fannin, and Njoku, they're solid. But they're not carrying this offense on their own. Still, even with this group, you saw moments where it could work. You saw flashes of chemistry starting to form. That pass to Gage Larviton in the end zone? That was a glimpse of what could be. Give Shedeur time, and those glimpses could become highlights. Give him a full week of prep, and those near misses could turn into touchdowns. And how about Judkins? There's another player who could shine with a competent offensive line. His ability to break tackles and gain extra yardage gives this offense a different dimension. Pair that with Shedeur's ability to extend plays, and suddenly you've got a backfield that can keep defenses guessing. But again, it all comes back to the line. Without that protection, all these pieces stay theoretical. It's time to make them real. We also can't ignore the defense. Yes, it's frustrating that we couldn't win despite 2 interceptions from Lamar Jackson and under 200 yards passing allowed. But you've got to give credit to this unit. They're holding up their end of the bargain. Myles Garrett was an absolute force, and he's not just putting up numbers, he's changing games. For sacks, 5 TFLs, 5 QB hits. He's doing this against mobile quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson. He's doing this week in and week out. And he's not doing it alone. This defense has pieces. It's got potential. It's just constantly let down by an offense that can't keep pace. So Browns fans, where do we go from here? Do we give Dillon Gabriel another shot if he clears concussion protocol? Or do we roll with number 12, knowing the upside he brings, the excitement he brings, and the chance to finally see if he's the guy we've been waiting for? I know where I stand. I've seen enough of Gabriel to know it's time for something different. I want to see Sanders go through a full week of first-team reps. I want to see a game plan built around him. I want to see what happens when he's set up to succeed, not thrown into chaos. And if it works, then you've got your answer. If it doesn't, at least you know. Either way, this franchise moves forward with clarity. So let's get loud. Let's get vocal. Let's push this team to make the decision that puts us in the best position for the future. Because at the end of the day, we're not just fans, we're the heartbeat of this franchise. And we deserve a team that competes, that adjusts, and that isn't afraid to make bold moves when the time is right. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to receive daily content about the Browns for more exclusive updates. Go Browns!